Hello Steelers, and welcome back to a hobby report update from a long absence. Things have been in a bit of turmoil here at Steel Towers, as you know, if you've been watching this channel for a while. A couple of months ago we had some redecorating done in the house. I've been currently painting the war room, making it look a lot better than it actually used to. You can still see behind me things still need sorting out. This is all my terrain. It is now out of storage at least. But the room is still in a bit of state of flux. I am going to do a full tour of the War Room 2 when it is finished. A couple more things I need, like I said, I've basically got to get rid of some of this storage here behind me because this is all my scenery. It's going to go in, there's a space for it over there. But right now it's currently just in boxes up against the, as you can see, the bookshelves and the game shelves at the moment, so it does need its own space. But that's going to be something that's going to happen, but it means at the moment I can actually work in here and I've got some space to move around. The walls are painted. Most of the decorating, the final bits of decorating are done. I've got a painting table set up, which is very exciting. The first time I've been able to do much painting in the last few months, as everything has been in turmoil, as I said, and I'll go through those in a second. But as I say, you know, the War Room 2 is slowly but surely coming together, and I am going to do a video about it. I've been doing some updates as I've gone along on the shorts part of this channel, so if you go over to the channel first page, you'll see the shorts section, the little playlist there, and there's a few bits and pieces in there. Go and check those out if you want to see the progress of the room as it is so far. Still got a few more things to file away, but it will be done at some point. I've also been working away for work as well recently. So I just, you know, was unable to make any videos or do bits and pieces because it's excavation season for us here. I'm going to talk a bit more about that later on because there's a few things that came up as I was away last week. I was going to record this yesterday on Friday. I'm recording it on Saturday, but I just got back from Preston just a bit too late on, so I couldn't really do much. So I thought, let's just make a video on and see where we are, and allow people to catch up a bit with the works that have been going on here at Steel Towers. Speaking of which, once I'd got my painting table set up, which is now about a couple of weeks ago, I think now, I was able to move my stuff over there and start organising it and things, and I painted some of the stuff that had come through the post over the last month or so, because obviously with not being able to paint anything, there wasn't really much point in me buying a lot of stuff, simply because I just didn't have anywhere to paint it. But there was some bits and pieces that came through, some stuff that I'd ordered before we started decorating, and then just one or two things that, you know, they just came up as orders over the last couple of weeks. The first one are these Eureka 50mm Japanese infantry. I realised that I didn't have enough single-based LMG Japanese figures, so I only wanted about 6 or so. So Dex and I put together, he wanted a few extra bits and pieces, so we put in an order together. So I got 6 LMG figures, as you can see. I also chucked in a couple of officers as well, I thought, because you can buy them from Eureka individually, which is quite nice. And I also got some engineers in the forms of a couple of guys with lunge mines for later war stuff, and also a couple of flamethrowers as well. Now obviously the flamethrowers need crew, but they just need to be armed with rifles, so I've got plenty of Japanese riflemen that I can stick in with those. It's just something different, just for adding a little bit of flavour and just having those extra support options as well, for mostly for chain of command, but you know, obviously they can be used in other games as well. But they're very nice figures, and they fit really well with the Peter Pig stuff that I've already got, and also with the command decision thing Japanese that I've got as well. So they're well worth checking out. Lovely figures. They've got a great range, so you can mix and match with those, and I'm looking possibly maybe getting some more at some point for some later war Japanese stuff. Then I also turned back to Vietnam. Now I was going through the lists of the Surf's Up supplements, which is for Charlie Don't Surf, and one of the things I was missing from my Vietnam projects was a couple of 8-man squads for the VC. So I'd got these out from elsewhere, from the other figures that I've got. I was able to drag out 16 figures, and I just painted these very quickly because, you know, they're relatively quick in their black uniforms or peasant clothing, just with the straw hats as well. I just thought that's a dead easy thing to do, so let's just get those done. I can draw a line under that. So I've got those extra squads there just for the mix. I also got as well from Peter Pig, I got some of their US Vietnam characters, and this is including Colonel Kilgore, I love the smell of napalm in the morning, so I painted a couple of those, and also I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's one of the guys from Platoon, I can't be 100% sure, carrying an M16, and then also a couple of dog handlers as well. Now they're pretty much useful, they're more useful in the Men of Company B by Peter Pig, which obviously we played a few weeks ago, and I'm going to do a review of it at some point and some playthroughs on the channel as well, because I really enjoyed it. Really good set of rules. But I also needed as well for them, for that, some caches for the Vietnam, for the VC scenarios where the US are searching villages. They have caches in them, so I got these, and it's a 12-piece set. I just thought I'll get the lot, and then I can put them on the little cache loop that you use as part of the game. It's a really clever little mechanic, and I think just having those little extra actual pieces painted up look a lot better for the game anyway. And then also finally I realised as well when we played Men of Company B that I didn't actually have enough casualty figures for the US and also for the VC, or even for the MVA, even though I had some, and for peasants as well. So again, I just bought quite a lot of stuff from Peter Pig. This is a while ago now, a month or so ago, and these are the casualties. And I just thought, these will be useful. They'll be useful mostly in Men of Company B, but they'll also be useful as well, of course, in Charlie Don't Surf, Justice Table Scatter and things like that. So I kind of, draw a line a little bit at this point under the Vietnam project. I say a little bit because I'm fairly sure there'll be some other bits and pieces I can pick up at some point in the future, and I'm sure I will. That's something for the future. In the post, whilst I was away, I got this, the 1941 to 43 War in the Desert O Group supplement. This is, it was released a few weeks ago, and I got it printed out and bundled up at Docs Direct, which is a great company for doing those kind of things here in the UK. I'm sure if you're watching this in the US or elsewhere, you'll have local places that do these kind of things. And I got it printed out. The reason is, I've been thinking, the Desert War is one of those things that I've never really touched as a wargaming subject. It's always been a very popular wargaming subject. It's one I've never really got involved with. I've played some games with Dean, but it's always been through his stuff. It's always been his collections that we've played. But it is quite an interesting period. It's something I don't know a huge amount about, to be perfectly honest. But what is good about the Desert War is that it is almost a bracketed project in and of itself. So I was thinking, well, what I'll do is I'll buy this anyway. And what I can do is I can look at playing O Group in 6mm. Now, O Group suits 6mm hugely, I think, or even 10mm. I only play it in 15mm because I've got my own body weight in 15mm figures already, and I've got everything for it. So there's no point doing, for like Northwest Europe or for the Eastern Front, there's literally no point me going to 6mm because I've got everything already, and I would need to, double everything up. However, doing a Desert War project means that I would just have to buy a desert gaming mat. I would just have to get some bits and pieces of terrain, not a huge amount again in the desert, and the scenarios in here are a testament to that. But not a huge amount of stuff, so the 6mm collection could be quite small, almost like my Blucher collection of 6mm Napoleonics, and everything can then just be kind of bracketed and almost put in a single box, and done very quickly because it is 6mm. Doesn't take long to paint. I'm currently waiting for some stuff from Bacchus, some 8th Army figures. I just want to see what they're like and see how they match up and how they paint as well. But I'm thinking about perhaps maybe going 3D printed for the vehicles, if I can source them somewhere. And if Paul at Sabotage is happy to do that for me, I'm sure he will be. But then again, it just keeps the weight down, doesn't it? But I thought, it's a perfect way of exploring the Desert War. It's a perfect way of using this supplement, and it just really means it's a nice little project that I can put together. It's probably something that's going to happen in 2026 now, just because, as I say, I'm waiting for the figures to come through, and I just need to source bits and pieces. But it might be, one of those things, kind of like the Vietnam projects, where it runs alongside the epic Prussians, because I've only just started cracking into them as well. So, it's something I can break up another project with as project, and it will have a beginning, start and an end. And I just thought it's a way of doing it and using this supplement as well at some point in future. So keep your eyes on that on the channel. That will at some point, I'm sure, start appearing in these hobby updates and also in photos and what have you. I've just to mention as well, I have also done a review of the Desert War supplement. That is set to come out in the next couple of weeks. Okay, keep your eye on that. That'll be a little cheeky drop at some point. The other thing that came in the post as well, just before I left, was this. It is Wargames Illustrated number, let me find the number 453. The reason I have this, I don't normally subscribe to Wargames Illustrated. I'm usually a WSS man, but the reason that I bought this is because it has the article that James Morris wrote about the game that we played, based around Verdun. In 1916 we played a game in his tunnels. You can see here we played the game in the tunnels of Fort Vaux, and then also the square bashing game based around the attack on Fort Vaux from a higher level as well, using square bashing, and he wrote it up as an article. I've done the videos for this already, which came out earlier this year. You could check those out elsewhere on the channel. It's a really good article. It's quite long. It's about 8 pages long or so, I think. Lots of photographs of the day and of us getting involved. And also not a single goblin was involved in any of this, which is great because you don't need to put fantasy into the First World War to make it interesting. Right, I'll leave that there. You can get that as a PDF, I think, off their website, or you can buy the hard copy. But check it out. It's a very interesting and very well written article. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, but James is a very good writer and a good war games writer as well. It makes it very interesting. Over at the club a while ago, just before I left last week, Dean brought down What a Cartel. We tried that out because me and Dean had played it before. It was basically the modern version of What a Cowboy. I'd got the rules from John Savage. I don't know if they're going to get published at some point. I'm fairly sure they will do, like in a Lardy magazine or something. And he basically very kindly passed them on to me, and Dean has been tinkering a little bit around the edges with them to turn it into a Mexican drug war game, something that he's always been wanting to play for a while. So we did play it previously, and I've made a video of it, which will come out. We did have a video of it, I think. But it's I think Dean slightly over-egged the pudding in the first game by having too many bits and pieces in there. We really pared it back. Dean, Dex and I played it. It was myself against Dex. It was going very well for the Mexican army, until almost the last moment, when basically my force morale collapsed and the last two surviving guys got out of Dodge as quick as they could because there was too many shotguns around. But it was a great game. It really brought alive, What a Cowboy and how good it is, just as a set of rules anyway. We all understood it by the end of the game, and it made for a good laugh. And Gene and I are now talking about filming a game specifically for the channel. So once again, I'm not sure when that'll happen, probably in the next couple of weeks, but keep an eye out for that, and I will film it and I will stick it on the channel at some point in future. So I mentioned this in passing. I was at Forward Barracks last week. This was part of Operation Nightingale. It's an MOD-led initiative to get veterans working on archaeology as a pathway to recovery for PTSD and other mental health issues, something I've been involved with since I started my job at the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. And this was one of my projects at Forward Barracks, where we were looking for Watling Street Roman Road, which passes through the barracks. We were not entirely sure where. I'm not going to tell you too much about the actual work there, because if you pop over to the Operation Nightingale Facebook page, which is an open page, you'll see the updates that I put up as we were working each day, at the end of each day, so the full updates there. And obviously we're now just waiting for the report to be written by Wessex Archaeology. But we all had a great time, really good, pretty good weather throughout for most of it. A bit of rain here and there, because it is, the wrong side of the Pennines, but that's what it is. It's always rainy on that side. But we found some interesting stuff, if not the things we were looking for, but I'll leave it to that for that. What we did do, though, I was able to arrange a visit to the Lancashire Museum, the Lancashire Regiment Museum, which is housed in the barracks, and we went to cross over on Wednesday afternoon. We were met there by one of the curators. He took us around, took us into all the back rooms, into the storage, and also into some of the areas where the staff work and you don't normally get into. But we also had obviously a look around the exhibitions as well. Now, if you can get there, I think it is only by prior arrangement. If you can get to the museum, it's worth it, simply because they have an eagle from the 22nd Regiment, the French 22nd Regiment, that was captured by it's either the 40th or the 30th Lightfoot at Salamanca in 1812. They also have the 105th French Regiment drum, which was captured at Waterloo. Both of those things were fantastic to see. And again, there's great other bits and pieces as well in there. Lots of history, lots of regimental history from the Lancashire guys. So if you can get into the museum, it's well worth it. It's pretty cheap as well, I think, only about £6 or so. The only problem is Fulwood Barracks is a little bit further out of Preston, but it's worth the trip. And as I say, I think you have to do it by prior arrangement. And then very, very, very finally in this, what is probably at this point quite a long video, is Pursuit Wargaming. Paul over at Pursuit put out the Wargaming Top 5 video that Dean and I made with him. This is back in July, I think it was. It was a follow-on from the interview that I did with Pursuit. I think he's got about 3 videos out of it. This is the one that Dean and I talking about our favourite wargaming things, tools, and some of our oldest stuff, and bits and pieces. Quite a funny video. Go and check it out. It was just released just the other day, but I'll put a link as always in the description down below, and go and check that out, and give Paul over at Pursuit a subscribe as well, because he's putting out some quite interesting videos here and there. Right, I think that's pretty much it. Tiny says it's time to wrap up, so I think that's time to wrap up, and I will see you, of course, in the Storm of Steel video.